This is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course we are out here hooking up with the guest when it comes to guests, and today we have another special guest. So guest, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, guys, or rather good afternoon. My name is Maryben Omollo. I'm an entrepreneur, inspirational speaker, and a mental health activist in Kenya.
So we'll just go straight into it, like from your IG, your bio, it reads entrepreneur, inspirational speaker, CEO. I want to know what came first.
Actually, entrepreneur came first. Rather, should I say the CEO? No, the CEO came first and then transformed me into the entrepreneur.
From, our education system is very much focused on creating employees. So I even wonder how you are able to unlock your potential to be on the other side.
Actually, what really inspired me was after I lost my job. I was fired actually got fired in 2015, October 2015. I got fired. It was on a Monday morning. But before that, the few people I had interacted with previously would tell me, Mary, you have the potential to do business. You have the potential to do business. So when I was in Kisumu, I tried business. So that's when I registered my first company. It's called Berry Agencies and Supplies. So a friend of mine called Tom way back in 2012 assisted me. By that time I was staying in Kisumu, assisted me to register the company here in Nairobi. So I tried just few supplies here and there. But at that time, like you said, the system, and not only the system, even our own parents believe in employment. They don't believe in business. So I started looking for a job. I got a job, worked for some time, moved to Nairobi, got fired in 2015. So when I got fired in 2015, I tried looking for to look for jobs. 2015, 2016, 2017, still nothing. So in 2017 is when I registered my company. At that time, I had registered mainly for one reason, to get a living, or rather to earn a living. But things changed after that.
So we are talking about your first business. So if you can be free to tell us, like, what were you dealing with and what really influenced you to choose that line of business? Or was it a business where you were offering services? You can just talk about it.
My first business in 2012 was just general supplies. And one thing about general supplies, let me not lie to you, everyone, when they want to get into business in Kenya, specifically in Kenya, you will be told, do general supplies, do tenders. Tenders have money. Do government or parastatal tenders. That's what every youth is being told, or every person is being told. So I also started doing general supplies, supplying cereals in schools, vegetables, but just at a small quantity, because I didn't even understand what business is. You can imagine the only course we did in business when we were in high school was actually business management, or what it was called, something business in high school. So that's the only knowledge I had at that time. And I did it for a few months. I didn't even understand accounting. I got the money I would get money, the only thing, I was young, just from school, high school, trying to figure my way out in college, trying to figure my way out in employment. So that's what was happening. That was my first gig, or rather my first business, before registering now my current company.
From you've talked about having a job, then you were fired, and then you chose to start a business. I want to know, at that time, if you can remember, what was the reception from friends and relatives? There's usually There are usually people who, when they open up a business, their friends really support. There are some people who, when they open up their business, their family thinks maybe they are mad, they should go and look for a job. So if you can recall at that time, what was the reception among your friends and relatives?
Is it your connection or my connection?
You could hear me? All right. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm asking at that when you started a business after you were fired, I want to know if like the reception with your friends and family, because there are guys who start a business and their family is supportive, other family members think that maybe you are mad, you should just go and look for a job. So what's your experience at that time?
Now, when I actually started the business, I won't lie to you, my friends were not supportive. But if I can say out of 100%, 0.01% were supportive. The rest, they kept on sending me job opportunities. I could market myself on social media, market myself out there. I'm running a cleaning and pest control company. If you need pest control, kindly support. 0.01% of my friends supported. The rest were not for it. Even my family was a bit rigid about it because they felt like nobody has ever done business in my family. I'm going to be the first one. They assumed I'm going to fail, actually. And my friends, they told me, in fact, I remember someone told me I cannot do that business in Nairobi. If I have to do the business, let me do it somewhere else. I should move to Kisumu or go to the rural parts and start the business. But I cannot make it in Nairobi. There are big fishes in Nairobi and I can't. And every now and then it was hurting because they keep on sending me job applications, job opportunities. Oh, Maryben, try this job, try this opportunity, do this, do that. And I would ask them, you've seen very well I've started a company. This is a business. Instead of you sending me job applications, why can't you send me business opportunities? And they would be like, no, you're not ready for business. Business is not for you. Just go back, get a job. You'll be comfortable. This business is not for people like you. Until to date, there are those who can't believe that I've made it this far in business.
Yeah. So from your vast experience now, right now, you are very much experienced in this field. I just want you to talk to us about sources of capital, because this is usually the biggest problem. Even when you try to engage with people, they start telling you, I don't have a business because I don't have starting capital. So I want us to just talk about sources of capital for startups.
Now, that is a very big issue. It's a major issue in Africa, not only in Kenya, in Africa. Last week, I was in Uganda. We were discussing about the ecosystem around entrepreneurs or other startups. And one thing I have come to learn, if you're innovation, if you're in the innovative industry or any industry that, let me say innovation, fintech, and all that kind of industry, and you need capital, trust you me, if your business is not run or your co-founder doesn't have a white man, you're not lucky. You cannot get investment above $1 million. You can only get below $1 million because that is easier to get. Above $1 million, you cannot. So it means Africans, we are limited in that area. Number two, at times, if you're passionate about your business, you see, to start a business, let me take you back a bit. To start a business, you need to do a business from a passion point of view. What you're passionate about, not what you're seeing another person doing so well. For instance, my case, last year and this year, I have seen like around 20 cleaning company coming up because of Maryben. Someone tells me, Maryben, I have seen you doing this. I have seen you moving forward. I've seen you winning awards. I want to be like you. And I'm like, yes, I'm running a cleaning and pest control company. And they're like, I want to do it. Now, In order for you to do business, there are two differences. There's a difference between a business person and an entrepreneur. Kenyans, we don't know how to differentiate the two. You get sickle buyer, you get guys who are in pyramid scheme, or how is it called? This global something marketing. When they start sending out text messages via WhatsApp or even on social media, you hear them call themselves, I'm an entrepreneur under this and this pyramid. But yet they're not entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur is a market player. No, an entrepreneur is a market leader, while a business person is a market player. So anyone who runs hotels, anyone who runs this and that, they're all business people. An entrepreneur disrupts the market. Now, if you start your business from a point of what you have passion for, you'll realize you won't even need a capital that much. For instance, me in the cleaning company, I started as a pest controller, and I realized I didn't have money at all to buy equipment, to buy the machines, overalls, and all that. What I did, I had to start branding myself. A lot of people know me as Maryben, either for mental health or cleaning. So when I started branding myself so much, I gave client ultimatum. I came up with a company policy. In order for us to come and fumigate your house, you need to pay 50% deposit. So the 50% would cater for chemicals, overalls, and all that. So that is how I began buying stuff step by step. And also, there are those who cannot do that. If you're not able to do that, probably you can do the crowdfunding. You can do crowdfunding, you can do crowd pooling, or other fund pooling. This is by, you go on social media, you tell clients, we are coming up with this kind of shoes. And if you want to be part of it, you need to pay this amount to secure one pair of shoes, or two pair of shoes, or three pair of shoes. So you get people start sending money for that pair of shoes, and you begin now making, you get your own capital. Yeah, crowdfunding and even family gathering. You can, if they decide to support you, fundraising and all that, it can be better if guys decides to support.
So from your interactions with other business people, entrepreneurs, I want us to talk about qualities of an entrepreneur, or let's say traits of an entrepreneur. What do these guys really, what do these people really pay attention to? What don't they are not bothered about certain things? So you can just talk about some of the things a business person should really like put into practice even on a daily basis, some of the traits.
One of the biggest thing I've come to learn, I've associated with guys like Vusi, Kwame, a different business mogul. And I'll tell you one thing that I've come to learn. It's what motivates you as a person. Why should you wake up in the morning? What change do you want to bring in Africa? What change do you want to bring in your country? If you're working for money, just to better yourself, to make to afford the most expensive clothes, the most expensive cars, the most luxurious life, it's a miss. One thing I've learned from these guys is when they create a model, they're creating it for other people. And when we start viewing life in that perspective, that if I have to create this model, let me create Zoom for other people. I don't want to look at how much am I getting from it, because if it's going to benefit these people, in return, I'm going to get money. So what's in for other people, unlike what's in for me? Number two is what's your purpose in life? You see, when you start working from your own purpose, you understand I am a mental health activist. What is my purpose? My purpose is to make sure all the youths are living with the right mindset. They're not, their mind is not distorted. They're living with the right mindset. I start functioning, or rather I start working from that point. My main focus is this group. I need to help people fix their mindset. I need to make people have a formed opinion about something else, not a distorted opinion. And also, lastly, I would like to tell them to stop having the copycat mentality. You see, when we have a copycat mentality, we see everyone doing this or doing that. We want to do it the way they're doing it, and we're not finding a purpose as to why we want to do it. It becomes a problem. For instance, this is what you're doing. You're inspiring other people. Now, when I come to the show and I see this is what you're doing, I want to copy the same thing. And I'll be interacting. If I do this, I'll end up interacting with so-and-so, meeting so-and-so, brag, I know who this and this person. Already the project itself will fail. And that is what majority of the youths in Kenya do. Majority of them fail because of the copycat mentality. And lastly, I would like to tell them, in order for you to succeed, either as a business person or an entrepreneur, you need to fix, or rather you need to align three things. You need to align your purpose, your vision, and your passion. So if you're able to align the three and you're able to know the three, your purpose drives you to the vision is the last one. Your purpose drives you to your, I said the vision, purpose, and dreams. Your dreams pushes you to your purpose in life. Your purpose in life takes you to your vision at the end of it all. So you're able to live according to that direction. If you don't fix, or rather don't understand the three, or even you miss one, you'll not be able to attain the vision at the end of it.
I want us to talk about this myth, but again, I think it's true. So the more you stay in a business, the more likely you are to succeed. I don't know what is your view about this, because we have also seen companies that have existed for even more than 50 years. So is this true, or if somebody sees that maybe your business is not peaking, can you just quickly switch and review your business model or change what you're dealing with?
Actually, that is very true. The more you stay in business, the more likely you are to succeed. And let me tell you another theory I got to learn when I started my own business. Now, let me explain this. I started I was doing general supplies. I had a lot of things in Greensill. I was doing general supplies, car hire, interior design, events management. And you see, I was doing all this because I didn't understand what I stand for or why should I exist. I was just doing because I also had the copycat mentality. I was just doing because I saw this one is doing this one is doing that. And then somebody else told me to do general supplies. And then I decided I want to do car hire. And now the services that I'm doing, the cleaning and pest control, was the least among the list. The list. In fact, I had to put it as a by the way at the end of the profile cover that we are partnering with berry agencies because of the cleaning and pest control. Now, it failed. It failed terribly. I don't want to lie to you. It failed. I lost money. I was scammed by a friend. I lost money. That was in 2018. After I lost money, I lost my sanity. I was so depressed, very, very depressed. I started surviving on antidepressants. Now, come 2019, when I met my mentor, I showed him my profile and he asked me, I've never forgotten his words. He asked me, he said, all these are giant services in the market and you cannot manage all of them. What are you going to do? You need to cut down. You need to decide, what do you want to do? Why do you want to exist? And what should people know you for? And that's the time I told him. He asked me, if you're called today in the morning to do a service and one of your guys does not show up, what are you going to do? I told him, the only thing I think I can do if my guy doesn't show up is pest control, because I had a passion for pest control ever since I was growing up. And he said, then that is what you're going to build. I started rebranding my company from a general supplies company to cleaning and pest control. So when I started the cleaning and pest control, no, actually not even cleaning, it was just purely pest control. So when I began doing the pest control, I started seeing my potential grow. I did a market research, market survey, pricing, chemicals that I need, chemical formulation, and all that. After I knew this is what I have to do, or I understood by assignment in the industry, I went now to the next phase. I have my own personal story that I went through, and that was in 2019. Now, come 2020, I asked myself, why should I exist in the market? How am I going to exist in this market? What should people know me for? In as much as they're knowing me for cleaning and pest control, why should I exist? And that is now when I came to discover I can work with young single mothers based on my story. So I started working with the young single mothers. As of now, I am rebranding again from running a hygiene company to moving to a foundation. Why? I was able to understand the entire process. Now, this is what happens when people fail. People fail because we don't understand what we want to do. And that's why you will meet your friend. Today, he's running a logistics company. 1 year down the line, he's no longer in logistics. He's in security. 1 year down the line, he's no longer in security. He's selling laptops and all that. The reason is they didn't understand the assignment. That's why they keep on hopping from one business to the next. Number two, they did not sit down to understand, what do you want to do as an individual, as Maryben? What do I want to do? Is it employment? Employment is not so bad. There are those who are called to be employed. Is it, I want to be an entrepreneur? Or is it, I want to be a business person? There are very few entrepreneurs in Kenya. I can tell you it's not more than 1,000. It's less than 1,000. There are not a lot of entrepreneurs. Majority of people are businessmen. Now, you ask yourself, why do I have to be here? Now, if you understand you're called to do whatever you're doing right now, you'll realize today you've made a mistake. You are doing it on YouTube, or rather you are doing it on Facebook. Then you sit down, you rebrand, or rather you go back, check on it, and you're like, because I was doing all this, if I choose to do it on Zoom, will it be convenient for me? Will it be convenient for my clients? Will it be convenient for the people that I need to interview? And you realize, yes. So you move from that YouTube or Facebook, you move to this other place. Why? Now you are growing gradually. You see, you're growing gradually in the same area, but majority of us don't do that. And that's why I would tell someone, before you start a business, you need to understand, is it what you like? Is it what you have passion about? Do you feel you have a purpose in it, or are you just doing it for money?
You've traveled to a couple of African countries, and I just want to know if maybe you are able to interact with guys. How is the ease of doing business in Kenya compared to these other countries? Because whenever you want to register your business, from just what I know, but you can explain further, you need a couple of licenses. Getting the licenses from a guy who is starting out, it's so much expensive. So I don't know how we compare in terms of the ease of doing business in other African countries.
I'll tell you, Africans, we all have the same sickness, or rather we are suffering from the same sickness. You see, the same challenges we have here in Kenya are the same challenges we are having across African countries. And that's why we're even trying to do, we are coming up with AFTA. AFTA, it's an abbreviation of, we are trying to bring all the African countries together, or rather startups, and even entrepreneurs and business people, both the youths and the grown guys in the field. We're trying to bring them together to create an environment whereby Africans can be able to do business at ease, or register business at ease. We will not blame Africa, because we chose our leaders. We put them in the office. They create these rules that doesn't favor us. Literally, it doesn't favor us. And you will realize, even when an outsider, a Western guy comes to Kenya to invest, they're given much more platform as compared to us. So registering a business in Africa is so hard. It's not easy. In fact, Kenya is even cheaper. I was talking about registering a company, the company in South Sudan, in Sudan actually, yeah, both North and South. And I was told, in order to register my company, because I'm a foreigner, I will need to spend over $500,000 to register it. And I was like, $500,000. While in Kenya, if it's a foreigner, as long as it's me and the foreigner, we will pay the same amount. That's around 15,000. Or rather, not even 15,000, it's between 10 to 15,000, depending with how you want to do it. If you want to do it with a lawyer or you want to do it direct from a citizen, you will actually spend $500,000 in Sudan. And also, I was in Ghana, and one thing about Ghanaians, it's also the same thing. In order to set up, you're a foreigner, to open an account, you need to have one of the guys, the local person in that country, and he has to have a lot more shares than you are. It's the same as Kenya, so it cuts across the entire country. And not entire, sorry, it cuts across the entire continent. But South Africa is, no, actually is also bad. So Kenyans, we shouldn't worry. We should just pray for our leaders who can unite African countries when it comes to setting up businesses and have people who have startups interest at heart.
Yeah, and another thing is that you have also talked about mental health, and I was able to see that you are a mental health activist. So I just want to know how this even came about.
I was depressed for quite a long time, I think over 6 years, and I never realized that I was depressed. And I tried acting normal. You see the way I can meet you and just say hi, and it's hi, that's it. Nobody cares about how you feel. More so for the entrepreneurs, I tell people entrepreneurship is a scam. That is one thing I never leave behind. When I have to talk to someone, before I start, I tell them, listen, just the same way we say adulthood is a scam, is the same way entrepreneurship is a scam. Nobody cares if you've had breakfast. Nobody cares if you've eaten. Nobody cares how you're going to survive. What we care about is how you make it in life. Is the business flowing? Is the business moving? So in that process, after I'd lost my job, things were not working out. I was in a violent relationship. I was depressed. I was broke. And being broke is one of the things we fear the most. So I was very broke. I couldn't even afford my normal meals. On the other side, I couldn't sleep. So I used to survive on antidepressants for a very long time. I had to take antidepressants every single day. And if I say every single day, I don't mean once a day. No, I'll take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 at night, 2 in the midnight, just to sleep off my problems. And 2020, when I started going for counseling, I realized my problem did not begin during this phase that I'd lost business. My problems began from my childhood. We Africans assume that depression, yeah, wazungu, that's what we always say, this is a white man's problem, but it is not. It is us who are living in that denial. Now, when I saw I am not able to be productive in work, I'm not able to be productive in friendship and all that, I have withdrawn from people. That is when I realized there's a problem. When you're depressed, you cannot work. A lot of people think that you'll just look fine, go to the office, pretend everything is okay, but no. Mine began, I realized I was depressed from 2012, and I actually got to know about it in 2020. That is when I knew I'm depressed. After that, I decided, because I tried committing suicide 5 times. After healing, I realized nobody deserves to die. You don't deserve to die for anyone on earth. Not your family, not your friends, not anybody. No, you don't deserve to die. And I told myself, I'm going to stand up for everyone who's depressed and tell them, you know what? you're too good, you're not meant to die. You're not meant to die for anyone. And that's how it began. And so far, so good. Yeah. I have seen a couple of people get healed. I have seen people stop taking antidepressants. There's a lady I met, she was about to even commit suicide and kill her kids, 3 of them. And so far, she's doing good. Yeah.
So as we are finishing up, I just want you to share with us from whatever you have tried, the countries you have traveled to, just share with us the most important lessons that you have learned.
One of the most important lessons, the lessons I've learned from all these countries, or actually I won the top 40 under 40 Africa in Ghana under women empowerment, top 35 under 35 Kenya, Eastern Africa ambassador. Also, I won the Rising Star Award under Women in Board. And then I have the Universal Women Award from Universal Women, it's in the US. So a woman of influence on a yearly basis. So I got to have the 2022. And also I'm becoming the national leader for AFTA. AFTA is the overall African organization. But there's something I came to learn from it, is that if you don't believe in yourself as an individual, and if you don't hustle for what you want, people will name tag you. There's a time I was very broke. When I was depressed and things were not working on, I was given a name tag. I was called a beggar. Each time you'd call your friends, they would call you a beggar. When they see your call and you see, and that was the reality. But there's one thing I had to do. I had to sit down and ask myself, is this who I want to be? Is this the future I want to build? And I told myself, no, I need to start believing in myself. And I started believing in myself. And when I believed in myself, I told myself, Maryben, you're going to do exploits. You're going to go to different countries, not only Kenya. You'll not be a local champion. You're going to be an international champion. And each time I move to a different country, I have to build a connection. You see, there are people you tell yourself, I cannot talk to this person. I cannot reach close to this person. Why? Because that is the limitation you're putting in yourself. I went to Ghana. I made sure we met the vice president of Ghana. I made sure I've spoken to the top guys of Ghana and told them what I want to do, how we want to connect Kenya and Ghana. I met the ambassadors of different countries there. How are we going to connect Kenya and Zimbabwe? How are we going to connect Kenya and Lesotho? How are we going to connect Kenya and Niger? You see, and one greatest mistake is putting a limitation on yourself and putting a name tag on you. People can give you a nickname, but it is you to decide, are you going to allow yourself to be viewed by that name? Are you going to put that name tag on yourself for the rest of your life? No. So it's upon you as an individual to tell yourself, you know what? This is who I am. This is how I want to be addressed. I tell people, raise your standards to the level you want to be, and you will meet the people you want to meet them there. Someone will tell you, Barry, don't raise your standard. You're raising your standard so high, you cannot reach there. Trust me, Barry, if you want to associate with the presidents, raise your standard as a president, and you will meet them up there. If you want to associate yourself with the billionaires, raise your standards as a billionaire, speak to yourself as a billionaire, and you will sit on the table with the billionaires. Nobody ever expected Maryben to reach in this level. I have surprised myself, even surprised my teachers. They never expected, They always ask themselves, is that Maryben? Really? You see, why? Because I had to raise my own standard. And and that time I was raising my own standard, I had to change my mindset. Lastly, people need to, as a youth, you need to invest in your training, invest in yourselves. Do a lot of trainings in your area of interest. As you can see, I do trainings everywhere. If it's training that is going to benefit me in terms of my business and my career growth, I go for it. Don't listen to what people will tell you that you can't do this, you can't do that, and all that. No, it's time to believe in yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me your time. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.